common treatment with crystals is actually, believe it or not, irradiation. So stones are naturally irradiated in the earth all the time. That's how clear quartz turns to smoky quartz. And this is a natural process, and by the time the crystal is excavated from the earth, there's no trace of harmful radiation left. So the stones are perfectly safe to bring into your energy field or use on your physical body. However, there are some instances where crystals are irradiated by man to get a similar effect. One of these, for example, is clear quartz. So clear quartz is irradiated within the earth and turns to smoky quartz. But sometimes you'll find, especially with quartz from Arkansas and sometimes with different minerals from China, particularly different types of quartz crystals, they will be irradiated by man. And one way to tell these apart from regular quartz or smoky quartz crystals is if you actually hold the irradiated smoky quartz up to the light, you will not be able to see through it. It will appear opaque, and they're very, very dark in color, almost black. Now with natural smoky quartz crystals, there's really quite a bit of range in the natural color, but you should always be able to see through them when you hold them up to the light. And this is a very good testing method to use. Now the reason this is important is because sometimes when these crystals are radiated by man, they will still be radioactive. Now all these things are supposed to be thoroughly checked before they're sold to the general public, but it's very, very hard to keep the regulation on that going. So you need to be cautious and know what you're buying. Buy from a reputable dealer, but a good way to tell, again, is to hold that crystal up to the light. If you can't see through it, I would not recommend using that stone for healing. In my opinion, I feel like the artificially irradiated stones are just sort of energetically dead, because what they're doing is exposing those crystals to a large amount of radiation all at once, whereas the crystals that are naturally radiated in the earth are exposed to only very small doses of radiation, and that's why they're generally safer to use. Now, you do want to be especially cautious if using stones that come in from China, again, particularly quartz-based minerals, because not all of those stones are checked in customs, and you want to make sure that you're using things that are going to be safe for you. Similarly, in addition to the quartz being irradiated to become smoky quartz, Hiddenite, which is a green variety of spodumene, is being imported from Pakistan that is often irradiated to enhance the green color. So Hiddenite is actually the green cousin to kunzite, and you want to make sure that if you're bringing this Hiddenite into your energy field, that you know that it's free from artificial irradiation, because a lot of times these minerals are still radioactive when we bring them into this country. So, unfortunately, not every single mineral can be checked, so you just want to use extra caution. I think if you have experience with your pendulum and you feel comfortable using it in this way, then you could check to see if your crystal has been irradiated. But generally, just knowing a little bit about which stones are commonly irradiated will save you a lot of trouble. So again, that smoky quartz, Hiddenite is a big one right now. There's also a green quartz from China, and it's often mistaken for Seraphos quartz, which comes off of an island off of the coast of Greece. And Seraphos is amazing, but there is a green quartz from China that is irradiated to take on the appearance of the Seraphos quartz. And I've had many instances of hearing horror stories about how this stone is still radioactive when it enters the country. So just be careful. If you'd like to try and use your pendulum, if you're really not sure, I think that you have to be well versed in using a pendulum. If you're not experienced, you may not get a clear answer. So again, that's just sort of on your own comfort level. Again though, especially if it's a smoky quartz, holding it up to the light and doing the test that way works really well. Or if it is a Hiddenite and it looks just too green to be true, you make sure to ask your dealer or vendor if it has been irradiated, and a reputable dealer should be able to tell you. Now, the only thing is you do have to be cautious, because some people are just trying to sell you crystals and they'll tell you anything you want to hear about a specific stone. So just make sure that you are, using your best judgment when it comes to that.